Hey there, keep singing members, community. Good to see you. I'm seeing if anybody's going to jump on today, but in the meantime, I thought I would share with you guys a few products that I have come across and have been trying out for some time now and wanted to bring to your attention. I am going to put affiliate links in the page here, but you don't have to buy them through my affiliate links, but it doesn't cost you anything extra, and it does put a few pennies in my pocket, which is very nice. So thanks in advance if you consider doing that. Okay, if these help you, if this information helps you, then that would be really cool if you would do that. All right. If you're like me and you live in a region that has a lot of allergens, I'm telling you, I've lived a lot of places in my life. I have never lived anywhere that has as many allergens and allergy producing and inducing things as the region I'm in now, which is central southern Tennessee. Never, ever. Like I said, I've lived in a lot of places. I think I've moved over 37 times in my life. I've lived in 6 states. I've lived kind of short-termish month to 2 months to 3 months in different countries. Nothing like this. Okay. Now, but whether you live in the central southern Tennessee region or not, you no doubt have seasonal things of some kind. And I never really had allergies all my life, although, I was tested several times and was told I had no allergies. However, twice a year, I had allergic reactions that were severe that would turn into sinus infection because I wasn't treating myself for allergies because I was told I had no allergies, seasonal or things or otherwise. So you cannot 100% rely on allergy tests, okay? And actually, the allergy doctors, they're going to tell you the same thing. Like they're going to say, these are just a prick test, blah, blah, blah. If you want to know for sure about something, you do these sensitivity tests that are like the step beyond, but that cost like, $1,000 per test, as opposed to whatever it is you're paying for that, either out of pocket or through your insurance, la, la, la. Okay. Chances are good you have something. Now, if you're like me also, and you're maybe not the greatest housekeeper in the world, and I do have cleaners that come and help me, or did for several years. I'm in between cleaners right now, but just once a month. The rest of the time, my family's on our own. And even when they come in once a month, they can't do a deep dive, right? So doing a lot of the deeper clean stuff is back on your plate, and my plate is already overloaded, so those things don't get cleaned frequently at all. So you might have pet dander, dust, pollen, mouse droppings, cockroach stuff. Just, I know that's gross, but you probably to think about, but it is how we live, and we live in the world. We live in a world that's actually made of dirt. And we're the ones that construct these houses to try to keep the dirt and the insects out, but that's just never going to be 100%. You cannot live in a hermetically sealed environment. Okay, so then on top of that, if you ever leave your house for any reason whatsoever, you're exposed then to environmental things, such as pollen, such as just new blooms, new things coming up, new different kinds of weeds. So it may or may not be pollen itself. It could be the weed itself or the bark or the animals that gravitate to whatever that is. And that's kind of in dry-ish areas, but let's talk about, or warmish areas. Let's face it, also, cockroaches are one of my nemesis. Like, I'd almost rather face a scorpion than cockroaches. That's the honest truth. Okay, do I want a scorpion? No. But I grew up with thousands and millions of cockroaches in South Texas. I OD'd on them, I guess. I cannot take them anymore. But they're everywhere, y'all, everywhere. So if you see one in your house, there's a bajillion all over the place, in your house and outside of your house. Or, you see one on the sidewalk outside. They're just everywhere. And so are other things, critters, whatever. Okay, now that I have thoroughly made you completely paranoid, let's also talk about other environmental things, such as weather fluctuations. Now, weather fluctuating in and of itself is not really what causes illness, and you're not allergic to weather fluctuations, okay? But what happens is if the temperature does not get low enough and stay frozen long enough, it does not kill off insect species. Like there is a cycle that the world goes through, praise be to God, that's like a natural, normal cycle of life. Okay, let's be goofy, but there is a natural, normal cycle of things. And one of those is things freeze enough or get hot enough to kill off certain species, like things that don't survive. All right, and but it's not going to ever eliminate. The natural circle of life is not going to eliminate species. It's going to control the population. So, all right. So, if your temperature, because of whatever, does not get low enough or high enough, then that kind of thing can occur. Okay. Now, if you live in a region that gets rain and then it freezes or whatever, and you have deciduous trees that their leaves are falling, you have a layer of leaves on the ground, then you get rain, usually, then you'll get snow and freeze. Okay, so, and every time those leaves and everything thaw, you're going to have mold. That's just a natural part of leaf disintegration, okay? That's just a natural thing. Now, if you have a whole lot of it going on all around you, as tends to happen in this region, and many other regions, you're not only going to have the things that are, budding because they think, oh, is it summertime? And then the weather goes, ha ha, freeze. No, just kidding. It's not really getting warm. So you have this fluctuation thing, and you have a few blooms, and you have some mold spores released, and then a freeze again, and then they're released again. So if you kind of feel like I keep getting attacked, but I had, 2 weeks that were fantastic, and then I was killed for a week, just eyes red, and watering, and stuffy nose, and sneezing, or whatever all your symptoms are, leave me alone. I even have work. Do not disturb. Okay. So these are natural things. In this region where I live, there's always something, and it's not just a moderate level. It's like an inundation. So we definitely have, like many areas do, where you go outside and your car is coated in pollen. Now, I never had that growing up in Houston, Texas. Never had that, but we had other stuff. We had more cockroaches than you can believe. It was astounding. And they're let's not go into them. I hate them. Like, but you have other things in your region, whatever it is. So you think about your cycles of your weather, of life cycle of insects, of plants, and all those kinds of things that, and what temperature fluctuations and stuff, and how it could be impacting you. So remember what grandma told you: an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Take this from a person who spent a lot of her life, including my 10 to 12 years, depending on how you count it, of professional singing, fighting, having to take tons of antibiotics because nobody really explained this to me. And I don't even know, somebody knew this information, but it wasn't being disseminated through voice teachers. But also, when you go to a voice teacher or to a choir or whatever, like, they're not standing there telling you, okay, everybody, be aware that this pollen thing is happening right now, whatever. You go and you work, and if you pay somebody for a voice lesson and you pay them your hard-earned money, doggone it, you want to work for that hour. You don't want to necessarily every time talk about these things. So, but I want to share these with you because they really should be common knowledge, and they are not. There's a lot of people who think that they are sick, and they might eventually be sick, but really what initially caused it, the first domino to fall, were the pollen, or just the environmental factors. Okay, I'm not saying necessarily it's pollen because I've already explained there's lots of environmental factors. Some environmental factor that you did not address up front preventively became so much congestion that you ended up with a sinus infection and maybe a bronchial infection, etc. So I want to just touch on these things that are a few ounces of prevention. I'm also going to put a link on this page for a video that I made. I've made two. I'll put them both on there. One's about 4 minutes, one's about 15. Does more explaining and more demonstrating than the first one does. And so you take your pick, whichever one you want. If you want more information and for it to take longer, watch the longer one. You can set it on high speed, get the gist, and move on with your life. Okay, products. Scratch that, starting that sentence over again. You want to get the allergens where they primarily enter your body, which is your nose, okay? That's your first and best defense, is an offense in your nose. That sounds so weird. But there are products that help you do this. I'm putting the video about nasal rinses and nasal sprays in there. So I'm not going to go into that. Watch the videos for information on saline nasal rinses and saline nasal sprays and kind of the neti pots and the like, using sterile water, boiled water, whatever, cooled, and then adding some type of salt solution to it. There's different kinds of salt solutions you can add. The salt acts as both something that's going to break up the phlegm if there's any, and the salt also acts as something that heals the membranes and tissues that are irritated by these, by the postnasal drip, by the allergic reactions, etc. So when you have an allergy attack, so to speak, those of you who are really up to date, you've been studying why the heck you are getting all these allergy attacks, you'll probably already know this, so you can tune it out, but maybe there's something you didn't quite know about the sequence of things. That's been my story, kind of adding on as I go. Okay, when something enters your nose or your body in some way, and it can also be through your eyes, but the primary place is through your nose and mouth. It can also be your mouth, okay, mouth, eyes. But primary place is through your nose because you're inhaling and exhaling, generally speaking, through your nose. And when something goes in there that your body does not like, those histamines enter your body, and then you have histamine receptors. We don't have to go into all the science of this, but the histamine receptors are going to be like, ooh, I like that. Ooh, I don't like that. Then you have your body will respond accordingly. If it doesn't like it, it's going to try to fight it off. It's going to give you watery eyes and watery nose sometimes. It's going to try to get the junk out, or it's just going to, like your body, whenever your body experiences inflammation, it's trying to heal itself. Now, it just may be overpowered by the amount of stuff that's entering you, okay? So you want to do something to help get that out several times a day during the high periods of seasonal stuff. And then you want to do it at least daily during low periods of the year. Okay, so I've already explained in the videos saline nasal rinses and such. I found myself in the last week, I had run out of my usual saline nasal spray that I love, which is Neil Med, which I'll also put a link to on this page. But I love their aerosol because I can be lazy. I did neti pot for years. I've done pretty much everything. I've done almost everything. If you have a question about something, because I was so desperate for so long, and was so tired of eventually, like I knew that I shouldn't be taking as many antibiotics as I was, but that was the only treatments I was being offered. That and what is it that reduces the swelling is the name, and you can get it as a shot. Whatever they give you a shot, or you can take pills, and it helps reduce the inflammation, which is something that you definitely don't want. A steroid shot or pills, and or sprays and inhalers and all those things. They're all steroidal, and I didn't want to be stuck with that all my life. And some people are. Okay, so no shade, not throwing shade, just saying. There's a lot of people who are just like they don't have extreme versions of allergies or asthma, and even extreme allergy victims and asthmatics could benefit from doing more proactive stuff, because that would help them. None of this advice is going to hurt you if you have an extreme situation. But those are typically extra. They're called extreme for a reason. We have the bell curve, and most of us are in this section. That's the vast majority of people, and this is going to be your best defense. Helps anybody, but for y'all, it's going to be your best defense. It'll help you be sick a lot less. All right. So saline nasal rinse, et cetera, et cetera. But I found myself out of it, and it's before my next Amazon shipment's going to come. And I was in Whole Foods, and I was like, well, I'll go get some here. Well, turns out they don't have just plain old nasal, saline stuff, but they had this. Okay, let me try to hold this up here. All right. Beekeepers Naturals Propolis nasal spray, sinus congestion rinse. There it is. And I'll put a link. They had two versions of it. One of them was the kind that you're only supposed to use for no more than 2 to 3 days. This is the kind, and what I'm talking about right now is nothing that says only use for 2 or 3 days. So that means that if you do, you're going to have a big rebound effect. The only things I'm talking about today are the things that you can use daily with there's no addictive side effects and no rebound side effects, or those are kind of intertwined. Anyways, so I found this, and I gotta tell you, I'm liking it. Pros, it does a pretty good job of getting, the kind of rinsing out this area. To me, I picked it out after reading some reviews, and some people didn't like the scent of it or whatever. So you just have to try it and see if you're sensitive to the scent of it or just hate it or whatever. For me, it doesn't bother me at all. And it has kind of this cleanish feeling. So I don't know if that's the xylitol, because it has saline and xylitol. Let me take off my glasses. So yeah, it's got the sterile saline solution. It has xylitol, and then it has propolis, which is a bee pollen type of a portion of bee products. Citric acid probably for preservation instead of using a preservative. Polyepsilon lysine, I don't know what that is. Somebody can let me know. And nisin, Nisin, I don't know what that is either. So if you do know, let me know. Put it somewhere, like put a comment or send me an email or whatever, because I am interested. But the rest of it, like, it's a pretty short list. It's a pretty short list, because this is as long as the ingredients list is. The rest of it is directions and addresses and whatever all else. Safe for daily use. That's the key thing that I'm talking about for the products I'm going to recommend. Okay, so here's how you use this. First of all, you need to shake it. So what I do is I shake it, and then I'll set it down and I'll do something else, like brush my teeth or whatever. So I'll let it kind of settle, because when you shake it up, and then you have bubbles and such. Okay, so now I shake it and let it sit. So you're going to take this, you're going to take it in one hand, and you're going to lean your head forward just a little bit, and you're going to use your right hand, put it in your left nostril, just right in there, and just do like 2 pumps. You can do more if you want to flush it a little bit more. Lately, because of the deluge we're experiencing right now, which happens a couple times a year, but we're getting just attacked by all these allergens. I do 3 or 4, okay? So you can too. Have your Kleenex ready, and you're gonna do 2 or 3 pumps, whatever you wanna do. I've already done it once today, so I'm just gonna do 2, just to demonstrate. Okay, it's not like a whole lot. Now what I do is I let it go back, and I kind of actually sniff it back. The other thing I do, which not everybody can do, but I've been doing this for so long, is I go ahead and do both at the same time, do both nostrils. So I'm gonna take my left hand, do the right nostril. Okay, then I'm gonna let it kind of drip back a little bit so that it gets a little bit more of the passageway, and I'm gonna blow it out. I'm just gonna, what I do is I bend over and blow it out. When you blow, do not blow like your life does depend on it, but don't blow like you're trying to blow through the earth to get to China, all right? Just gentle blows. Here's another key thing. When you blow, turn your head side to side, okay? So gentle blows each side like this. You can also do things like, close one nostril, close the other nostril, gentle blows. Again, gentle blows. Okay, so that's one thing, but I really like this. Here is another thing that's on the defensive side. Okay, so now A lot of people take antihistamines in a oral form, okay? Great. Again, not throwing any shade. I took, can't remember what it's called, for a long time, loratadine, and another one, which I can't remember what it is either, because it's been a while. But I learned from an ENT that those oral antihistamines, they dry out your whole body, and as a singer, you kind of want to avoid that if you can. So again, you're going to get it where it enters the most. So this is the one that I've found that is very effective and that is affordable is azelastine hydrochloride nasal spray. Here's what it looks like. Now, you can buy this at Walmart. I don't even think you can get it on Amazon. I'll look. I'll put a link below. Again, they're all going to be. If I have an affiliate link, I'll put the affiliate link in there, and I appreciate you using it. But if I don't, if I'll just put it wherever you can get it, I'll put it. Now, this is available at Walmart, and I get mine. So I get mine by prescription, but it's available at Walmart. There's like gonna be one of them. And it's actually double the strength of the prescription formula. However, you have to buy that out of pocket for 26 bucks. And when I get this through my insurance, which I'm already paying for, then I get it for free. Ain't nothing for free. Anyhow, this is fabulous. So this is actually a nasal spray antihistamine, not a decongestant, an antihistamine. So another little point of clarification, antihistamines and decongestants do different things. You want to try to prevent with the flushing and the antihistamine. You need the decongestant when either you haven't prevented or the amount of assault overwhelms your offensive defense. Okay, and then everything swells up so much, or you start to get that congestion, and perhaps it turns into green. You want to try to get it before it turns green. You want to try to keep it running. Again, check out wherever it's going to end up on this page. Check out the videos for the saline nasal rinses, and just keep things flowing. I have a friend whose husband, whenever she starts to feel sick and starts to have these kind of responses, reactions, he goes to the store, he buys her a can of saline nasal spray, he hands it to her. This is the first time this ever occurred. It was early in their marriage. He handed her a can of the Arm & Hammer aerosol spray, nasal spray, and he said, make this be gone by tonight. Use it. You can't overuse them when you're in the midst of this, your senses, your system being overwhelmed by the various allergens. So you want to keep it flowing. You want to not have the congestion overwhelm your passages, so that then your passages get clogged by the congestion, and then stuff gets stuck up there. Then you end up with a sinus infection, because that's kind of how, in a nutshell, it more or less works. So, ounce of prevention worth a pound of cure. I hope this has helped you. If it has helped you, please say so in either the comments, liking the video, sending me an email, commenting on the video, subscribing to the channel, all the things, okay? So I hope that it's helpful, especially to you singers, but maybe you know somebody who just struggles a lot with allergy reactions, and this could help them too. So thanks for your attention. I hope it's helpful. Have a wonderful and very blessed day. Keep singing.